Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the page. I hope you're all having a fantastic Thursday. I know I am. And welcome to the channel. So, today, did you know, is going to be a bit of an extension of what we talked about last week for the Botman Life Skills Winter Series. So last week, we discussed self-esteem and self-improvement. And I feel like I didn't give you guys enough information there. And so today we're going to be elaborating on that, or kind of extending our talk a little bit. So a big part of self-esteem is really knowing what we're capable of, how we feel about ourselves. And so we'll be talking about a self-esteem inventory, or kind of a way where you can gauge where you're at in terms of self-esteem. And this is a Harrill self-esteem inventory. I'll leave a link for this in the description of this video once it's posted. But this is a really cool inventory to kind of see where you're at and how you feel about yourself. Now, before we dive into that, let's talk about what self-esteem is. So self-esteem is this overall sense that we have about ourselves, how much we value ourselves and how much we think we are worth. And so this kind of self-love and appreciation, regardless of our personal circumstances, is reflected in our self-esteem. It's important to note that self-esteem is not this concrete thing that's, you're the same for the rest of your life. Luckily, our self-esteem does grow and improve as we get older. It does tend to be low in childhood because we haven't had much experience yet with different things and different skill sets and activities. And so we don't really know that much about what we're able to do or that much about ourselves. And so as we learn and grow and develop new skills, our self-esteem starts to grow to reflect that. And this is very important because when we have positive self-esteem, we're not only, I love myself, I'm confident with myself, but you actually treat yourself with respect. You treat yourself with dignity and love. You value who you are, and that becomes reflected in the way that you treat other people as well. Having a higher self-esteem means that you believe in your capacity or your ability to learn and achieve and contribute to the world and just do things on your own. Now it's a big part of self-esteem, or having high self-esteem, is that we're better able to cope with the everyday stressors of life. And so things like stress and anxiety, peer pressure, all of these things are kind of setbacks in life. And when we have a high self-esteem, we have some sureness of who we are. And so we're able to kind of cope with any kind of setbacks, any kind of negativity that comes our way. And we're also able to look at, okay, this is a pretty bad situation, but what can I change and improve on? Or I have this thing that I'm not very good at. And so rather than telling yourself, I feel hopeless, I feel like a failure, that's not going to help. That's not going to make anything better. Instead, you want to look at what exactly it is that is holding you back, and how can you change this? How can you improve upon it? So, if we don't have high self-esteem, we might have low self-esteem. Realistically, self-esteem is a spectrum, and so you fall on any either low or high self-esteem, or anywhere in between. But when we have a lower self-esteem, we become more judgmental of ourselves. And so it becomes harder for us to shake off any kind of negative judgments or any kind of attitude or moods that somebody else might direct our way. And so we might take things like criticism or rejection to be a personal thing, or if somebody has a problem or they're reacting to something or they're angry or stressed out, we'll tend to assume that it has to do something with us because we think maybe we did something wrong, or maybe we're doing something wrong. A lot of times this is not the case. It's just the person could be having a bad day. But that's the problem with self-esteem, is it could take something small and insignificant and blow it up in our heads into this huge issue that feels unmanageable. And so we start to feel worse about ourselves. We fall into the cycle of feeling badly about ourselves. And so that's why the Harrill Self-Esteem Inventory was created. This is a questionnaire composed of 25 statements, and it helps you assess where you're at in terms of your self-esteem. And so it can help you identify areas where you're doing well in self-esteem, and also areas relating to your self-esteem that you're not doing very well and that you can work on and improve over time. And doing this is important because it can help you become more self-aware, and this greatly improves your everyday life. You become more sure of yourself, and this can have a direct benefit to your psychological well-being or your mental health. Now, it's important, I know it says try not to compare your self-esteem scores with others, but it's important to note that you should try not to compare yourself with others at all. Instead, you want to compare yourself to who you were the day before. You want to review kind of where you're at right now and identify areas that you can work on and improve so that you can continue to grow and be better tomorrow than you were yesterday, if that makes sense. Now, how does this work? So as I said, it gives you 25 statements relating to self-worth. And all you're going to do right now at home, if you want to write it down or to yourself, you're going to rate yourself on a scale of 0 to 4 based on how you think or feel currently at this moment. And so it's a sliding scale from 0 to 4. You guys know how this works. So if the statement doesn't apply to you or doesn't resonate with you, you'd say anything from I never feel this way to maybe I feel this way less than half of the time. If it kind of applies to you, maybe you feel this way half the time, or maybe you feel this way more than half the time. And hopefully if you have high self-esteem, you'll be getting a lot of 4s, and so hopefully you'll always feel a connection with these statements. And just a little side note, you don't even have to do the inventory. Some of these can be very good as positive affirmations. And this is positive self-talk that you tell yourself. And you can just do this in the mirror, kind of telling yourself these statements. And they can help improve your self-esteem dramatically just by doing that. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with this inventory. So the first 6 statements go a little something like this. And we have the scorecard over here if you want to keep tabs of how you're doing here. So our first statement, I love and accept myself as I am right now, today, even as I grow and evolve. So right away, you could probably see how this would be a good positive affirmation as well, reminding yourself to love and accept yourself as you are in this moment, and reminding yourself that you can continue growing and evolving. I am worthy of love simply for who I am, not what I do, and I don't have to earn my worthiness. I take care of myself before taking care of others, balancing my needs with those of my friends and family. This is very important because if you're not taking care of yourself and you value taking care of others, it's going to be a lot harder to take care of people like your friends and your family if you haven't taken care of yourself. It's going to make it a lot harder for you to do so. So taking care of yourself is going to directly affect how well you can take care of others. I easily let go of negative feelings from other people's judgments and focus instead on living my life to the best of my abilities. I always tell myself the truth about what I'm feeling. It's always important, especially when it comes to our self-esteem and when it comes to self-improvement, to be completely honest with ourselves, because this will help us kind of identify areas where we might be weakened or areas where we might not be that developed in. And so if we're able to be honest about what exactly it is and what we need to do, that's going to give us a clearer path to self-betterment, to improving whatever it is that we want to improve. I am incomparable and do not compare myself with other people. We we might tend to do this from time to time, and it's important to remember a good rule of thumb. You do not want to compare yourself with other people. Everyone else has a different path that they're going on, and it's different than yours. So compare yourself to who you were a day before, or a week before, or even a month before. And if you feel like you haven't been improving, now is the time to do that. You always have an opportunity to reflect back on how well you're doing or how not well you're doing, and how you can improve. The next following statements: I feel equally valuable to other people regardless of my performance, looks, intelligence, achievements, or possessions. Hopefully, if you have people in your life that love you and care about you, they will value you regardless how well you do in school, regardless how you look, regardless how smart you are. They're going to value you. I am my own authority. I make decisions to further my own and others' best interests. I learn and grow from my mistakes and don't deny them or use them to claim I am unworthy. And this goes in hand with being honest with ourselves. We all make mistakes, but it's important to grow from these mistakes. These mistakes are opportunities for us to learn what we did wrong, and how we can make that better. But when we deny them, when we use them to kind of justify our negative self-talk and say, I'm unworthy, I'm a failure, that doesn't help us. That holds us back from being able to grow and make the necessary changes we need to make to improve ourselves. I stop my critical self-talk and replace it with nurturing, kind, and encouraging words. Critical self-talk is just negative self-talk. So being overly critical of yourself means you're being unrealistic with what you expect from yourself. And so replace that with a kind, loving, and nurturing nature towards yourself, because you are human and you are going to have setbacks, but it's okay so long as you allow yourself to learn from these setbacks. I love, respect, and honor myself. This can be another positive affirmation. Tell yourself in the mirror every day, every morning when you wake up, I love, respect, and honor myself. I am not responsible for anyone else's actions, needs, choices, thoughts, moods, or feelings, only my own. And so you don't have control over what other people say to you. In some cases, you don't have control over what other people do, but you do have complete control over how you react to that, or if you react to that at all. I do not dominate others or allow others to dominate me. So this goes with self-respect and respect for others. If you respect somebody, you would not be trying to dominate them. And if you respect yourself, you wouldn't allow anybody else to dominate you. I have good physical and emotional boundaries with others. And so I'm a good physical and emotional boundaries with others. I feel my own feelings and think my own thoughts, even when those around me think or feel differently. This goes hand in hand with peer pressure. And so having your own thoughts, your own feelings, and really being able to assert yourself goes hand in hand with having high self-esteem. So you don't let other people's opinions or thoughts or feelings affect your own. I don't say things like you should or you ought to do this. These are value judgments. And so these are judgments that are telling you what you need to do. And these can be less effective than we think, and it can actually put you down. Or if you're telling somebody else, you should do this, you should do that, it puts them down. It releases their ability to control their own life. I'm responsible for changing what I don't like in my life. I face my problems, fears, and insecurities and take the necessary steps to heal and grow. And I am a person of my word and follow through with the things I commit to do. And it's one thing to tell yourself you're going to do something, or to tell other people, I'm going to do this. What really seals the deal is actually committing to that, actually following through with what you tell people you're going to do, or what you tell yourself you're going to do. And the last 7 statements: I forgive myself and others for making mistakes or being unaware. A lot of times when we make mistakes, it's because we either don't know any better or we're not really aware of what we're doing or the consequences of what we're doing. And that's okay. It's a beautifully human thing to do, especially when we're able to think about what we did, what mistake we made, and why it happened. Maybe if I was unaware, then I need to work on being more aware and more in the present moment. If it's a mistake because I didn't know any better, then maybe I need to learn more about this topic so that I don't make that mistake again. I believe my life is important, finding meaning and purpose in my life. I deserve love and happiness even when others blame or criticize me, because I can't control what others think about me. I take care of myself on every level: physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, and social. And keep in mind, so long as you're focusing on your physical, mental, and spiritual health, your social health and emotional health kind of reflect on that. And so they become better as you improve your physical, mental, and emotional or spiritual health. I spend quality time with myself on a regular basis. A lot of times it's good to just be by yourself, kind of be with your thoughts. Don't judge your thoughts. Don't say, I don't want to think this or think that. Just accept them, acknowledge them, and just be in the moment. I release unrealistic expectations of myself and others. Expectations are a lot of times leading to disappointment. And so when we don't set expectations for ourselves or for others, it's easier to improve because we're not thinking about, oh, I might disappoint myself or this person might disappoint me, but rather, maybe I can improve this, maybe I can't. I'll try to improve it anyway. I'm not going to expect too much of myself. I choose to love and respect all human beings, regardless of their beliefs and their actions, and regardless of my personal relationship with them. Holding on to resentment, holding on to hate or fear for other people does more damage to us than we realize. And choosing to love and respect each other is a surefire way to make ourselves feel better and to build stronger, healthier connections with the world. A couple things to keep in mind: that once you complete this assessment and you tally up your score, think about your results. Think about the 0s and 1s and 2s that you come across in this assessment, and what are some steps that you can take to improve these, to turn them all into 4s. And it's always very doable. Just remember to never compare yourself to others, never compare your scores to others, and hold on to these results. Keep them in a safe place if you'd like, and in a couple of years or months even, take this assessment again. It's going to show you how far you've developed and improved. And if you want to continue to develop and self-improve, then you can keep repeating this process over and over. And so I would like to thank you all for tuning in today. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and take care.